All right, guys, so I'm going to go over the study guide now and go through all of those answers for you. This will be posted in an Edpuzzle video that you can access this afternoon. This is Tuesday, and so you can correct any mistakes on your study guide, and I encourage you to do that so that you can use a correct study guide on the test that will be posted tomorrow afternoon, and you'll have the rest of the week to complete that, all right? So first off, we have a few announcements. I'm going to zoom in here so that you guys can see those a little bit better. First thing is make sure that you watch 100% of the Edpuzzle video. There are not going to be questions embedded in the video. It's just going to be a video for you to watch, but I will be looking for completion. So it needs to be at 100% in order for you to get the bonus points that are associated with it. So the only time that I ever do bonus is on a quiz or a test, and this is one of those opportunities. So you will receive bonus points just for watching the Edpuzzle video, because that shows me that you've actually watched and seen what the correct answers are on your study guide. So you will get bonus points on your test for watching the Edpuzzle video. Finally, make sure on the study guide as well as the test that you read all questions carefully and answer them to the best of your ability. All right, so let's get started. First section is multiple choice questions. And so the first question is, after Columbus discovered the Americas in 1492, many countries sought to establish colonies throughout the world. What is a colony? So we're going to look for what we know as the definition of a colony. And remember, a colony is a place that is owned by another country or controlled by that other country. And so this is the answer then for that. A piece of land that is controlled by a larger country that is far away. So I'm going to drag that and drop it right there next to number one, or underneath number one there. Number 2 says, what is a charter? Now remember, these are going to be multiple choice questions, and so the answers that I'm giving you are the word for word answers that you will choose. So a charter is a document from a king or queen that gives permission for something, usually permission to explore a new world or to start a new colony, because some of those colonies were charter colonies, if you remember back to our types of colonies notes. Number 3. King James of England signed a charter that set up Jamestown. What is Jamestown best known for? So Jamestown is best known as coming very close to failing, but it was the first successful English colony in North America. So it was the first one that actually succeeded. We make that distinction because of, remember, we talked about Roanoke. Roanoke was actually the first English colony, but it was not successful because they all vanished. They're not really for sure what happened to them. Number 4, life at Jamestown was not easy. Which of the following describes the area where Jamestown was built? So that's this answer right here. Jamestown was built in a swampy area that made it extremely difficult to grow crops and was home to disease-carrying mosquitoes. So just to add to their problems, they did not have the best land there to do anything with. Number 5, Jamestown was the first blank colony by the blank. And your answer there is successful and English. Jamestown was the first successful colony by the English. All right, number 6. Georgia was founded as and we're going to complete that sentence. So Georgia, remember, was a colony where debtors could go and work to repay their debts. It was a prison colony. And remember, we talked about how that it became a buffer between South Carolina and Spanish Florida. So they were glad to have that colony there that had all the prisoners and stuff in it to kind of protect them from the Spanish. Pennsylvania was founded as and the answer is colony where Quakers could worship freely. And number 8, Maryland was founded as a And that answer is right here, colony where Catholics could worship freely. And finally, the difference between a separatist, which is a pilgrim, and a Puritan. You only have one option left, but a separatist wanted to leave or separate from the church, while the Puritans, sorry, I didn't mean to switch that. While the Puritans wanted to purify from within. They wanted to change things so that it could make the church more pure. So separatists wanted to leave or separate, and Puritans wanted to purify its practices. All right, so that's the first page. Number 10. The Pilgrims planned to land at Jamestown. However, a nasty storm pushed the ship north to a land that was outside the control of English government. Why did the Pilgrims write the Mayflower Compact before they ever set foot on dry land? The answer is right here. So, since no laws existed, the Mayflower Compact was written to create a democratic government that could create laws in the area. Okay, so it just kind of organized their settlement and helped them to be able to create their own laws. Number 11, John Smith and other Jamestown colonists attempted to trade with the blank tribe while at Jamestown. The answer is the Powhatan tribe. And that is the tribe that Pocahontas was a part of. Number 12, which of the following is not a part of the Middle Colonies? And that answer, you only have 3 answers left. So North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Well, I know that Pennsylvania and New Jersey are both Middle Colonies, and so then the only option there is North Carolina. Number 13 asks, which of the following is not a part of the New England colonies? Now, this question, your only 2 answers are Middle Colonies, and we're so like you might not really be for sure which one needs to go on which answer. And so to show you the answers for number 13, New Jersey is your correct option. Okay, so New Jersey is not a part of the Middle Colonies. That's going to be one of the options for number 13. And then which of the following is not a part of the Southern Colonies? All of your options except for Pennsylvania will be listed on number 14. Okay, so Pennsylvania would be your correct answer there. All right, guys, part 2 of the study guide and the test is the map. So you have a map of the 13 colonies. However, you do not have to label all 13 colonies. You only have to label 7 of them. So it says drag and drop the correct colony for each of the blank labels. So we can either do this like going by the boxes or going by the blanks. And I'm going to do it, excuse me, I'm going to do it going by the blanks. All right, so I'm going to start right here in the top right with this colony right here. And this is Massachusetts. So I'm going to find Massachusetts, which is way down here in the bottom left, and drag it up there. Just put it there over that blank. All right, and then we have this colony that's right here. This was New York, or still is New York. It was the New York colony. So I'm going to drag that and drop it there. It's okay if you cover up some of the other stuff. All right, the next colony is this little one right here, which is Connecticut. So we're going to drag and drop that there. And then our next one is right here. That is Virginia. Virginia is right here. So I'm going to drag it up here and drop. Our next colony is New Jersey. Right here, this little squiggly one. So I'm going to drag this and drop. And then finally, the last one is North Carolina. Oh, wait. No, that's not the last one. The last one is Georgia. There we go. Okay, so now section 3 of the study guide and test is 2 short answer questions. So these, notice in the directions, answer the following questions in 2 to 3 sentences. So it's not like an open response, but it should be more than just like a short sentence. It should be more than just one sentence, all right? And you can answer this in a variety of ways. So keep that in mind. Your answer does not have to be what my answer is. You might have come up with something different, and that is totally fine. As long as you support your answer, I'm going to give you credit. So please don't feel like you have to change your answer that you've had or something like that. And we'll talk about a couple of points as we go through the questions. So, question number 1, explain at least one difference between the New England, Middle, and Southern colonies. Now, this question comes straight from the Comparing Colonial Regions assignment, where we had to do that table, if you remember, where we talked about colonies, land, climate, economy, diversity of people, and things like that. So you can pick any of those issues like economy or climate or land, or you might come up with something else, and that's totally fine as well, as long as you can support it. But I am going to do climate. All right. So my answer is going to be one difference between the New England, Middle, and Southern colonies is in their climate. Now, from here, you can answer this in a variety of ways. You can do some bullets and say New England in this climate. Middle colonies had this climate. Southern colonies had this climate. Or you can just write it in sentence form, and that's what I'm going to do. But you can do it either way, and I will accept that, all right? The only thing is I'm not for sure if you can do like bullets and stuff in forms. But if you can figure out a way to do that, then that's perfectly fine as well, all right? So, New England colonies experienced harsh, long winters, and short, mild summers. Middle colonies experienced a moderate climate with long growing seasons. Finally, southern colonies experienced long, hot summers and short, mild winters. And there's my answer. Now, obviously, that's more than 2 to 3 sentences, but it's really short and simple and to the point. I'm not going to be grading for like spelling or things like that, so don't stress about that. But use your resources and be able to get all of your thoughts down in those complete sentences. All right. So you do need to make sure it's complete sentences. You do need to make sure that you are fully answering the question. So you have to tell me this difference between each of the regions. So don't just pick 2 of them. You have to tell me how that is a difference between each of them. All right. Okay. Question number 2. Explain how European colonization of the Americas affected both Africans and Native Americans. So we know, we've talked about this, that European colonization affected Africans and Native Americans in mostly a negative way, not in a positive way at all. Make sure on this question that you are answering it how it affected both Africans and Native Americans. So don't just pick one. Don't just say it affected Native Americans this way or it affected Africans this way. You need to tell me how it affected both. All right. So let me answer this question. European colonization of the Americas affected Africans and Native Americans in a negative way. Colonization led to the enslavement of Africans on southern plantations. Also, Europeans carried diseases to America that wiped out most of the Native Americans. Now, again, you can talk about other things here. You could talk about how that the Europeans pushed the Native Americans off of their land. You could talk about how that the Europeans forced or kidnapped these Africans from Africa, from their homeland, and forced them to come and work in unsafe and terrible conditions. Anything like that, you can note in this question right here. But just, again, make sure that you answer for both groups of people and don't leave one out so that you can get the full credit for this, all right? If you guys have any questions about anything before the test, then let me know. The test will be posted on Wednesday afternoon around 3 o'clock. So on Wednesday, November the 11th around 3, and you guys are welcome to use the study guide on it or and work on it the best that you can. All right? Let me know if you have any questions. Bye, guys.